Hello YouTubers, I have a new video here for you. This is a 2009 E320. We're going to be correcting some oil leaks. The major complaint is that sometimes when he parks the car in a slope, is a leak from underneath. He suspects that the intake is leaking, and the rear crankshaft seal, the transmission has to be removed. As the rear crankshaft seal leaking a lot too. So we're going to be going through the process of removing and install. The intake is a little bit of a work because it's a V6 engine with a turbo. The turbo sits on top of the engine, as you can see here. So we will be recording all this. Hope you guys stay tuned and like all the video. I got the undercover removed, and we have a major leak here. And honestly, it doesn't look like it's coming from anywhere at the top of the engine. I mean, we do have some leak from the upper part, but that is staying on the engine, as you guys can see on the side. Let me see if I can get a light better so you guys can see what I'm talking about. A second. Like all this oil we have here is kind of like, well, coming from like this line right there, which I think is most likely, yeah, that's the oil dipstick. So we have a leak in there for sure that will have to be repaired. But the engine side, as you can see up top, is very nice and dry. Let's take a look at the other side. Let's probably, let me see if I can get you guys so you can see. That's better. So we have a little bit of a little wet, but nothing like. Okay, that's a better approach right here. Okay, you guys can see that the engine itself, coming from the top, is very dry. In the front we have, I'm gonna have to take the other cover out, but this is a major leak in here. And what worries me a little bit more, let me put the flashlight in my head. 1 second, guys, please bear with me. Is this right here? Let me point first before I remove this right here, because let's say we might have this oil leaking here coming from that, and that might be also why this hose has some oil in there. That can be from the oil dipstick. Like this one here, this one is inside the transmission. That's the inspection hole for transmission engine side, and how you guys can see is very full. The engine undercover was just covered with oil. You see what I can see there? Maybe, sorry for that. I didn't know that I have the finger in there. Yeah, this is all full of oil. Yeah, this is a lot of oil inside here. I mean, it's just, look at this. How I'm going is with my finger inside here. So this is a major leak. I think that this oil pan, I mean, it's just dripping from my finger in there a lot, but I think this has to be resealed. That has to be resealed, which is the oil dipstick. But as far as me, I think the major leak is coming from the rear crankshaft seal. So that's gonna have to transmission come apart. This is just this is the wind that takes all the oil back, and we have a little bit of a mess even in the exhaust, but everything else looks very good. So I'm going to bring the car down so you guys can see a little bit of what the leak up top is, which honestly I think is a little bit normal. I gotta stop the video 1 second. I removed the upper cover, and honestly I didn't see major leaks in here, just besides the turbo. And as you can see, is the turbo oil has come through the hose that goes to the filters. This one is the part that I'm talking about. You can see, which is, I mean, anyone that knows about diesel turbo engines and knows that is not really abnormal. They're always going to have a little bit of oil in there. I will just replace this hose in here, which is it's brittle, but I checked for play on the turbo, and it's not it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. This is usually what you do. You just grab a turbo here, and you go up and down, and this one has a play. It has to have a play. It's not a major play. That is, again, with experience, you start to notice what is too much and what is a little. You can put a dial indicator and check it too. I'm a little worried about the seal maybe leaking too much. That if that would be the case, this would be covered more with oil. I still will remove some more in here to see if that Lasix is going down in the bell housing and it's going and showing on the back. So I'm going to take, first of all, just a mirror to see what I can see on the back, lift the car back in there, back again, and make sure this leak is not going on the back and showing us his rear crankshaft seal. But I really doubt it. This is not as big as what we have in the back. So, but I mean, I can be wrong. So I'm going to check that out, and I'll let you guys know in a second. All right, I want to correct that. The turbo bolts are E12, not E10s, and yeah, the clamp is 13, but the bolts are E12. This is the gasket for the rear elbow. Let me show you how that looks there. Get the light better position. Okay, this is gonna help me out to remove the bottom bolts, because it's very tight space. I have to remove everything in the back in order to get the turbo out, so you need to remove that. Alright, so I just wanted to correct that and show you that, guys, and let's keep going. Alright, one thing I want to show you guys, I'm pretty much almost done removing the turbo except for two bolts that are like very hard to reach, but I want to show you where I get the information. In this case I'm using Sentry, which is the original information for Mercedes. I'm using also EPC, Wiz, and Ezra. EPC is for parts, Wiz, Ezra is more like all the operation, the removal and install information. So we're gonna get there. It's opening, and what I have done already, you put the B number here. I think this one is the last one I use. Yep. So as you can see, it's a E320 Bluetec, and instead of doing the search for the information that I need, I already bookmarked it before, so I don't have to be back and forth. So I'm gonna check for the turbo. What I do is I usually put a note so I know which one is the car I'm using or working on, and then I just go into show the information. This is always going to be shown, that's just a warn, and this is the procedure. So this is the way I get things done. You have to have the right information so you don't remove things that you don't need to remove, or you know the tools ahead of the work that you're doing, the tools that you're going to need, and so on. Okay, so let me just read a little bit more information, and I will keep going from there. Thank you, guys. All right, the turbo is pretty much released. Just gotta now disconnect the connector for the sensor, the boost pressure sensor and wastegate. This is electronic. I want to show you, pretty much you gotta remove. So you have to remove the elbow that you will see before. Those are E10s. And then the rest on the bottom of the turbo are E12s. You have two bolts. Let's see if I can. Yeah, right at the bottom, right there. They're E12s. You need to remove those two, and then you need to remove this one right here, and the one on the other side. Those are T45. They're not reverse torques. They're regular torques, and that's it. So again, I'm going to disconnect that, take the turbo off. All these gaskets are metal, and I'm going to put new no matter what. Okay. All right, two more brackets. Okay, well, first of all, turbo is out. As you can see, this bracket is on the front. You need to remove the 3 bolts. I'd rather keep the bracket on the turbo. It's 3 E10s, and also you need to remove the bracket that holds the cover. Let me show you which one is. This is a bracket. It's just to hold the cover, the heat cover on the turbo on the back. Again, 2E10s that was right here. You have to like tilt the turbo so that exhaust part comes up, and then you can get the turbo out. It's a little tight, but well, at least it's getting more open right now. You guys can see without the turbo more of a little leak. Again, like I suspected, most of the leak that he has is on the rear crankshaft seal, but I'm definitely going to leave these off because those upper bolts are easier to get, you know, the bell housing bolts from here now that the turbo is not in place. So that will make my life easier. And I'm going to see what else I can seal, put new gaskets, whatever we have here, because it is a lot of disassemble or disassemble. Still got to take the front of the intake where the throttle body lies, and keep going. So one other thing that I want to point that is very handy that you guys keep always when you're doing this kind of job is paper towels, a magnet, so you can pull out the bolts without, you know, going into the abysm. That's what I call, you know, the center of these engines. So you're not like worried about, you know, this, especially with this type of bolts, are very special, hard to get. And of course air with a blow gun, because like the turbo upper bolts, let me show you those, these two, let me show you, they get filled with like dust and sand and whatever from the years. You got to make sure that you use a pick, clean that out, and so you can see the torch very well all the way in, otherwise they would have stripped. And make sure that you use an impact torque, and I'll show you what the difference on those is. Like this is an impact torque, so they can hold more power, and these are just the regular ones. You will have the chrome type socket on it. Alright guys, I got the front hose and throttle body remove. All you need to do on those is well, all you need is a E10. You will remove two of the front bolts of the kind of like the throttle body right there, they hold this bracket right here. So you need to go from like the back, you need to remove the other intercooler hose. Same thing, it's just a type of clamp that you just put a screwdriver on it. You remove the intake temperature sensor right here. It's just squeezed and removed. Connector for the throttle body, and this other connector right here on the front. I want to show you how this is looking in there. That's why it's very important to remove this. A lot of carbon deposits in here. I'm going to clean this intake too, get all the new gaskets. As you can see, this is just brutal. Look at all that side. It's probably reduced maybe a 50% of the intake that you can get. And you're gonna clean the passage for the exhaust too. As soon as we remove the intake, we will be seeing that the bottom exhaust. See how it is. It doesn't look that bad. I just want to show step by step. It's very hard for me to, you know, just keep the camera. It's going to be very long. I tried to do a couple of videos, but it's this kind of job. Just this one on the turbo, and this is like 7 hours, and the transmission is going to be another 10 hours. So I think it's better if I just point you guys to the right direction, get the right tools that you need. Information, any of you guys, if you ever need information, just please let me know. I can send you a PDF, wiring diagram, you know, wiring diagram. So for that, and as long as it's not too overwhelming, but I will try to help you guys as much as I can. I have a lot of information on OEM, so this is very good. Okay, I'm about to remove the intake manifolds. I want to show you what I have removed so far too. I removed the injection rail from the driver's side. You have to remove the pipe that supplies the fuel from the high pressure pump, 218s. All the injector lines are 18 millimeter as well. I end up removing also the bottom of the turbo. Those are E12s. and remove all the walls from the intake manifold. Those are E10s. I also remove the EGR positioner, which holds there. That has been held by two E10s too. Remove all the connectors, and I'm about to remove that. I'm just looking to see, because these fuel lines are not giving me much space, neither the wiring. So I'm gonna work a little bit on that to see how I remove the whole thing. So I will show you after I get that out. So I remove, in order to get access to the injector rails and everything, you have to remove these two, I don't even know how to call that. They're like noise reduction things, make like out of foam. Just be careful with them. They're not brittle or anything. You have to make sure that you put it back, because that's very important for, again, noise reduction and temperature. But everything is going smooth. I might need to remove the return lines from the injectors, and to get more space I need to like lift this up out of the way. So I think that's going to be the only way for me to get that done, and see if everything comes out. That is, even though they're separate, they come all together, even with the exhaust passage underneath. And be careful, because you have to, like, intake runners, solenoid and everything. You can see right here, let me move that, you see. So you have to be careful when you're removing that, not to damage anything. It's a lot of oil, a lot of carbon, so it's going to be a little hard, but it's just the way it is. Okay, we got it out. Well, I got it out. It's really a mess under the intakes. As you can see, that body is full of oil, and the intake passages on the heads are just full of carbon deposits, which, this is very normal on these cars. But I'm going to clean all that out. Let me show you the intake manifolds out. You got to be very careful with the intake runner linkage in the motor in the center. We got these flaps in the intakes, so they're moving. They don't get stuck very easy. But you have to be careful, because the linkages in here are very, very soft. I just, got to be careful when you remove it. In order to get the manifolds out, there is also a hose right behind the EGR in the back. There is a big hose too that you have to remove. Let me show where the EGR looks on this car. So this is the exhaust gas recirculation motor. This is the base of the turbo. That's backwards. I'm going to reseal all this, clean the intake, which is, this is going to be like 2 hours just to do this. So again, I just give an estimate to the customer. I'm going to talk to him, send him a message, and see what he wants to do. He wants me to check the oil cooler in there, and I got to clean all that too. So it's a lot of work. So, but that's what we're here for. So I just wanted to show you guys the removal of this part. Probably going to do a completely separate video for the transmission, because otherwise it's going to be very long. Probably I gotta see how that goes. But so we have this on, or this removed, and I'm going to start cleaning. Okay, after like 2 hours of cleaning, this is a mess. It's just I like to see everything very nice and clean again. Hopefully it's gonna be very visible on the video. The intake runners are as clean as they can be. Sorry, drop my microphone in something. As you can see there, that's as clean as you can go. It's just like full of carbon. It's unbelievable. The whole engine body is nice and clean now too. Both sides are as good as it can be. And now I still gotta clean the intake. which is going to be another fun part to do. I have, that is the outside part, and now this side. It is going to be fun too. So this is, again, like I said, you know, if you're going to do the job, you cannot go by what the book says. I mean, it's what you can tell, you know, customer is going to be just about, I mean, intake gasket replacement. This definitely not. So this is at least, just to be fair with them, you know, another 3 or 4 hours of labor, because I mean, it is what it is. Plus I have probably spent like 10 brake cleaner, 4 engine degreasers. It's hard, but it's looking good. Alright, this is a request from the customer to remove the oil cooler. I have it here. That's why I clean the valley very good, because I don't want anything to go inside the engine, like, you know, like dirt or so. Okay, those gaskets are not purple, those are orange. I guess the dealer told them that they replaced that, I don't know when, and then the gasket should be purple if they are the updated version, which I don't see that in there. So I'm going to be putting those gaskets as well.